Hi guys, this is Kyle from DecePolice, and this is going to be the first video of our new segment. It's going to be called How to Kill, because Buddy kills. The segment today is going to be about how to kill the ever-popular Mermail deck. As you guys know, recently it's been topping a lot. I think at the last YCS there was anywhere from 9 to 12 Mermail decks, which is phenomenal. Like, the deck is very, very explosive, and it's very hard to stop because of how much destructive power and how much search power it has. But it has a lot of downfalls. Stuff like macro, stuff that just completely shut down the OTKs to stop the effects from hitting, all that stuff just wrecks the deck. As you can see, I laid out a lot of the essential cards you need for the deck. Lead, Megalo, Moon Glacia, all that stuff, all the Atlanteans. And this video is basically going to be about how to shut down this deck in its entirety. First off, how to kill the deck is stuff that removes it from play. Macro. The deck gets all of its effects off hitting the grave. Stuff like the Atlanteans, the Lind, the Gund, Pike, Megalo. All that stuff is affected by hitting the grave. And if it can't hit the grave, they don't get their effects, and then the deck doesn't do anything. The deck shits the bed, you could say, I guess. D Crow fucks up Moon Glacia, sorry, and it just stops all the plays that hit the grave, such as Lind, if they go for reborning plays, for Gun, all that stuff. So DD Crow is a really good card. D-Prison, stop the Megalos, stop the Dragoons, the Marksman. The Marksman often goes for OTKs by attacking your opponent directly, and if you D-Prison that card, their OTK is shut down. Bottomless, it really, really kills the Pike, the Lind, the Megalo, the Dragoons, all that stuff, because they can't get off their effects to the full potential if they're removed from play, and they can't get them back. And these are probably the most popular cards they're going to use to get rid of them. The Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fisher are the two best cards against this deck. If you get out this card and they don't have MST or something to get rid of this card, you have the game in the bag from there. Because they can't get off any of their effects, they can't get back any of their monsters, they can't do anything besides set a monster and say go. Next are cards that you're going to use to stop the OTKs. These are going to be cards like Gores and Torrential. Torrential is really good because if they're going off mid-combo and you know where to place your Torrential at the right time, it's really going to fuck them over and cause you to plus enormously. And the Gores, for if you just have it in hand, you keep it and you wait on it. After they do all their big plays, they're going to attack directly and try to go for game. But if you drop Gores, that shuts them down right there and they can't go for game that turn. And next is a really good need card against the deck, Mermails. It's really, really good against cards like Abyss Sphere and Diva. It's good against these cards because Sphere special summons from the deck, and usually they're going to get a Lind in order to plus off that. Use Mermails against that card. Like, you know that they're going to get the destruction of Lind either way. So if you're going to have it be destroyed and you're going to get the effects anyway, you might as well plus a card off of that. This card, when a monster is special summoned from the deck, you can destroy it and then draw one card. So that's really good against it, and as well as Diva, because Diva usually goes for probably heavy infantry or marksman the most, I could say. So if they go Diva and they mirror ups whatever they get out, it's going to completely shut down their play for that turn. They're going to have a dead Diva on the field, and then they're going to be sitting on it. They're going to take a lot of damage. So that's a really, really good card against this deck as well. Next is a card called Mind Crush. It's really good against this deck because if you can sense the Megalo coming and you Mind Crush it instantly, they're completely shut down for that turn, because chances are the only thing they're going to have in their hand is probably a Pike. Because Megalo, as you all know, is the essential card for the deck that makes it go off. And if you can hit the Megalo before it starts going off, then you're completely going to shut down the deck for that turn. Next is cards that really stop effects from happening, which is a big part of Mermails, because without their effects they're useless. So cards like Veiler, Warning, Debunk, Soul Drain, and Skill Drain are all useful. Veiler because they have stuff like Marksman, they have stuff like Megalo to attack twice, they got the Pike, they have all that stuff. And if you can stop the effects, it's going to slow them down a lot. The Solemn Warning even helps a lot more because you can negate the summon itself, which is very helpful, and they can't go off plays with that. Debunk is brutal against Mermails because Megalo activates in hand, and all the Atlanteans activate in graveyard, and so do Lind and Gun. They all activate in the graveyard. So you can debunk that, and then it removes it from play, which is brutal against the deck anyway. So that's 2 factors in 1 card. That's a brutal card against the deck. Soul Drain, like I said, along with all the other cards, all the Atlanteans and most of the Mermails are hurt with their effects activating in the grave. So Soul Drain shuts them down completely, and they can't get off their destruction effects, they can't get off special summoning, they can't get off any of that stuff. So Soul Drain is broken. I'd probably run 2 if you could. And lastly is Skill Drain. Skill Drain is kind of an iffy card. The only cards it really hurts is Marksman, the Exceeds, and Pike, but it's still a really, really good card, because if you can slow down them enough just so you can overpower them before they overpower you, it can help a lot. Like, in combination with Soul Drain and Skill Drain, they can't do anything. They instantly lose no matter what they attempt to do at all. Next, Starlight Road's a really good card because Megalo, if you're discarding Atlanteans for its effect, it's going to blow up 2 cards at the same time. So you can Starlight Road and get out your Stardust, which conveniently enough is 100 points higher than Megalo. So you can sit on that for a while and negate their destruction, and they won't be able to get over it quite as easily as they might think. Maxi is brutal against the deck because if you've ever seen a Mermail player go off in time, they're going to special summon probably 5, 6, maybe 7 times in 1 turn, and that's going to make you +6 off of that. And they're probably not going to want to do their complete play because you're going to plus way too much off that 1 single card. And that 1 card is also going to help you draw into a lot more of your sides against the deck. Against a Mermail deck, this is probably going to be at least a +1 no matter what you play it against. Unless you play it really stupidly, which if you're trying to play against a deck using Maxi, you shouldn't be stupid anyway. But that's a really, really good card against the deck. I would probably side 2 against that. And lastly, for just my generic choices against the deck, would probably be Thunder King. Thunder King is really good against this deck because they run cards that really benefit from searching the deck. These cards are stuff like Dragoons and Pike. Pike, when you discard a Water Master for its effect, you can add a level 3 Water Master from your deck to your hand, and Thunder King negates that. Dragoons, when discarded, you add any Sea Serpent from your deck, even Boom Glacia, and Megalo. So if you have Thunder King on field, it's going to shut down their search power and the speed of the deck. Thunder King slows down their deck a lot. And if they're going to go for their Exceeds for Bahamut Shark, Black Ray Lancer, Abyss Dweller, anything like that, Thunder King can negate that. Thunder King is really good, especially if you can protect them against the deck, because if you can keep this out for multiple turns, you're going to completely shut them down, and there's not much they're going to be able to do at all. Anyway guys, that's going to be our first segment on how to kill. And it's going to be based around all the meta decks of the format and what we're going to do to try to stop those decks from just wreaking havoc on the format. Anyway guys, this is Kyle from Team DecePolice signing out.